Good morning, sexy mo host. What's going on? Mix coming at you from Jersey. Everything is good. One is happy, good health, and we are ready for another day. Today's Friday. I'm off today. Not really off because when you're off, you know what I'm saying. You are catching up and doing everything else that you need to do. So that's what I'm doing. Just got out of the mechanics right now, taking the car to get the little inspection, make sure that everything is okay. You know, changing the oil and all that. Guys, I was thinking about something. I work for a pretty big company, and I heard someone the other day in the company talking about like new hires and the people that they're hiring. And something that caught my attention was that the person basically says something on the lines of, "Oh, we have a whole bunch of new hires, fresh out of college, and they have most of them have over $100,000 in debt." And I think that the way that it was conveyed wasn't in a way of saying, "Oh, you know what, that is so impressive," but rather, you know what, we have this whole bunch of kids with all this debt that are willing to do anything that they have to do to make these loans. Because quite frankly, they're coming out of college with a piece of paper that means nothing. And so I was thinking about that statement that the person made, and I was like, wow, man. So you go to a school for 4 years, and the average college will cost about 40 grand. And let's just say, for example, if you live here in New Jersey and you go to one of the major schools, you're talking 40 grand a year because of all the elective classes that you're taking now. College used to take you 4 years. You probably took summer classes or whatever, so you were done in 4 years. What I'm hearing right now is that a lot of people are graduating between 5 years and 6 years from college. So do the math. $40,000 times 6 years to 5 years, man, that's a lot of money. That is a whole bunch of money. And so when you go out there and you graduate and you go to the job market, you almost owe the value of a home. 170, 180, almost $200,000 in student loans, which, by the way, by law, you cannot declare bankruptcy or write it off. You are in debt indefinitely for that money. You got to pay that money. If you don't pay that money, your wages will be garnished. Your, you know, income taxes will be garnished, and so you're a slave for life. So college students coming right out of college, first of all, they have a couple of things not going for them. One of them is that they don't have the experience because all they have done basically is just, study. Guys, I'm gonna tell you one thing personally. I am not advocating for people not to go to college, but I think that, and I remember this in high school, was that it was almost like an indoctrination. Every teacher from the time that you are, a sophomore to your senior year, all they basically are pumping into you is that you got to go to college, you got to go to college, you got to go to college, and you got to go to college, you got to go to. It's like an indoctrination. Couple of things that they don't tell you. For example, not everyone is meant to go to college. I'm sorry, the whole delusion that we have in our society that everyone basically is going to go to college and graduate, this and that and the third. It's a very high percentage of college students that drop out because one, they just get completely disillusioned. Two, they're not prepared for college life because they just went to a high school in which teachers were always behind them. Hey, turn in this paper, do this, do that. And so they feel that the college life is going to be the same thing, that they're going to have someone following around or following them around and asking them, hey, do you turn your term paper? Do you do this? Do you do that? Guys, colleges don't care. If you have a deadline and you don't turn it in, it's your ass. Like they don't care. You're paying $40,000. If you are not making a wise investment, that's your problem. They got paid, and whether you're getting a loan, whether you're getting a Pell Grant, whether you're getting whatever, you know, they are getting the money. They are getting paid, and so you have to be mindful that when you make the decision to go to a higher education, that you are responsible for all that money. In one of the in high schools, they don't teach you finances. They don't teach you financial responsibility. They don't teach you about credit. You know, most kids think that money just basically falls on the tree or it grows on the tree, and that if you get a credit card, it's free money. Happened to me. You know, my first year in college when I was basically exposed to credit cards, I went nuts, crazy. I was charging everything that I can because to me, you know that it's credit, but you really quite not understand the ramifications of what that means. Credit, you don't, because no one has taken the time to sit down with you and tell you and explain what credit is really, and what interest rates are, and APRs, and and minimum payments and penalties. No one explained that, and so you think that a kid that just graduated from college or graduated from high school, I'm sorry, just graduated from high school, really understand the repercussions of signing the paper in the dotted line for $40,000? Come on now. That's unrealistic. So we don't allow 18-year-olds to drink or smoke. Hear me out. We do not allow 18-year-olds, which by law are adults, but we do not allow them to smoke or drink because it's against the law. But these same people are able to sign a document that states that they are responsible to pay $40,000 times whatever years they're gonna be in college for life. Do you really think that you understand the ramifications of that? And so, guys, I know that you know everyone wants to basically have a better life, but please understand that a better life doesn't necessarily mean that you have to go and spend all this money and get yourself in debt, and then realize that once you go into the job market, you spend $40,000 on a degree per year, right? And you're getting a job that is paying you $30,000 to $25,000. It just doesn't make sense. So a college degree is worthless. Again, I'm not saying don't go to school. What I'm saying is that educate yourself about the consequences and about the repercussions and about what does it mean to get a loan. If you have, someone, your parents basically save money for you to go to school, or you have somehow a way that you're going to be able to go to school and not pay for it, that's awesome. So more power to you. Go ahead and do it. Take care of that opportunity because knowledge is power. But again, that is a sword of double edge. Because yeah, you're gonna go to college to gain knowledge, but then if you don't understand that gaining that knowledge is gonna cost you a lifetime of slavery, and what I mean by that is making payments for something that is not worth it. Because let's be honest with you, I look at high schools, for example, and high schools, with all the respect, are no different than a freaking college. I'm sorry. You have professors and teachers teaching you a subject. And so I think about high school and college, and you think about how overpriced higher education is. It's like completely out of control. Completely out of control. So again, if you are paying $40,000 a year for a piece of paper that says that you are qualified to do something, and you go out to the job market, and because everyone else has a college degree, so everyone has a piece of paper, that it really diminishes the value. And not only that, It diminishes because now you are going into a job market that basically is paying you $25,000, $30,000. How the hell are you gonna pay these? Make these payments? And so again, I was listening to that conversation with this person in the company that I work for, and I was surprised. I was like, wow, that's exactly what companies want now. Is that they want slaves? They don't want thinkers. They want people that are basically so deep in the hole that they can exploit them. That's exactly what they're doing. Is exploiting these people. You're working overtime and you're working this and you're working that, and you can barely basically just pay off your necessities. How can a college student go out there, get a job, and then try to buy a house or buy a car? They can't. They can't afford it. It's unrealistic. So the value of a college degree today in today's market is worthless. Now let's talk about that's a bachelor's degree. Let's talk about the master's degree and the PhDs. That's even worse because you have a lot of people out there with PhDs and master's degrees that cannot find a job. Because what you think is, well, I have this piece of paper that said that I'm a master's in this subject, in this matter. You should be able to get paid, but that's not the case. Out of 10 people with a master's degree, or out of 5 people with a doctorate degree, one will probably find a job in the subject matter that they study or in their field that is going to pay a decent salary. And it's not about what you know, it's about who you know. So if you don't know anyone on that field, if you don't happen to have, someone that knows someone, you screwed, completely screwed. Because now you just went from $40,000 to probably $60,000 to $70,000 to get this master's or this doctorate degree. And so, guys, education, college education is overrated. Today, college education is overrated. If you're gonna go to college because you think that you're gonna be able to find a better job by going to college, I guarantee you won't. I guarantee you won't. You will probably have a better chance to learn a trade, to learn electrical work, to learn plumbing, to learn how to do things with your hands, woodwork and things like that. And you probably will make more money than some lawyers just graduating and in the first 2 years, of practice. You will make more money than them. And so I think in a lifetime, because people are not willing to get their hands dirty, you will make more money than some lawyers, some doctors. That's just how it is. Because you are doing something, a trade, going to trade school, you're doing something that most people don't want to do. Most people, like they say plumbing. Ugh, I'm not touching that. Electrician. Oh, what if I would get electrocuted? People don't want it. The only thing they want to do is just sit down in front of a computer and make money. And that is not the current job market. The current job market basically is calling for people that have knowledge of a trade, how to do, AC, HVAC, how to do, truck drivers, how to, and again, I am not saying people that education is a waste of time. There is a very famous quote out there that says, if you think ignorance is expensive, if you think education is expensive, try ignorance. But one thing that you notice is that the greatest thinkers in history, they didn't go to college. College is really a social construct to get people to go into institutions to learn certain things. And so, who knows? I don't know, but I'm pretty sure someone can find out the whole college and universities basically where did the whole thing come from. There have been educational institutions, but universities and colleges morph from being educational places where people were learning and learning new ideas and debating, new ways of thinking, to now basically just becoming an indoctrination camp for politically correct people. That's exactly what colleges are. I have seen some videos on YouTube that make me, it makes you think about, wow, what is going on today? People want to be so politically correct, and sometimes you ask a question, and they know in their minds that the answer that they're got to give is completely irrational. But because society tells you that you got to be politically correct, they give an answer that is not the answer that they feel in their heart that what they should say, but rather what society expects. Because now you have a whole bunch of kids that have basically the social media saying, "Oh my God, social media, Facebook, and this and that." I think kids get bullied. Like we have turned into a society of basically soft people. We are basically, like raising soft men and women that cannot understand and deal with the world. When they get out of the safe spaces, and like when they encounter someone that is able to debate a different idea than their perspective, they lose their fucking minds. They lose their minds because they don't know how to cope with a different perspective, because they think that their perspective or their idea or their opinion is the only one that matters. And so this is what kids are being taught on college campuses today. Again, if you're going to a school and you get offended by an idea, by another perspective, you are wasting your time, because that's what college and universities are all about. They're places for people, for you to be exposed to different ways to look at the world. These are places that basically are going to harvest the ability for you to think critically. So when you look at a problem, you can say, okay, well, this approach doesn't work, let me try this. High schools today, man, like it's just, again, it's almost like in a way to indoctrinate people to them go into the colleges. Like high schools don't allow for like critical thinking. All you do right now is, I have some friends that are teachers or are in that field, and so all you are turning kids today is to in America is to basically into test takers. We have so many freaking standardized tests that measure how well you're able to regurgitate information rather than to teach you how to think about solving a problem. I used to, when I was in high school, it used to be that you were given a problem, a mathematical problem, and you have to show how you solve the problem. But now today, they don't do that. They teach you the way that they want you to solve the problem. And even if you know how to solve the problem and you do it in a way that is not the standard way that they teaching you, like there is this new thing, it's not new, but it's been around for a while, called Common Core. What a hunk of garbage, where no answer is wrong, as I understand it. It's just that to show that you are able to reason. Well, if you're making reasonable assumptions about something, there are two conclusions. Either you're wrong or you're right. 1 plus 1 is 2. Please don't tell me that 1 plus 1 is 4, because it's not. 1 plus 1 is 2. So if you make an unreasonable assumption, you're wrong, and that's it. Um, but yeah, we are completely destroying the values of the educational system, guys. Again, I'm not saying don't go to school. I'm not saying colleges are bad. I'm not saying universities are bad, but think about the value of what you're getting for your money. It's If you go to buy a car, you would try to get the best value for your money, right? And the whole thing about accepting people is just a way to make it more like the whole thing about college access, acceptance. Oh, you're not going to be accepted into college. College is a business. They want your money. So if they know that you have the ability to get credit, or your parents have a house, when they look at that application, they will take you in. Don't get me wrong. Harvard, Yale's. There are certain things. There are certain people that will be able to get in there. Either you got money or you got what they want. You're smart. You're intelligent, and so that you can basically become a problem solver for the people that run the world. That's all it is. That's the reason why you have big schools like that. But any other regular college, at Rutgers, uh, any other, college, it's very rarely, unless you are dumb and your GPA in high school was trash, which basically means that you are not college material, quite frankly. Don't waste your money and find out what you're good at. But the whole thing about, oh, you gotta, be part of the the student council and you gotta do this and you gotta volunteer, that's all BS. Bull crap. If you have the means and if you have a decent GPA in high school, they will take you in. So, guys, again, think about the fact that the whole process about going into college is just to make it exclusive, so that you think, oh my God, I just got into college. You're just getting an education. You're getting a piece of paper that is not worth the money that you're gonna pay for it. So before you jump into these colleges and you spend all this money, and please, people, please stop wasting your time getting these liberal arts college degrees. You just really waste your money. You just mean that you did a whole bunch of things and you didn't do anything. If you don't know what you want, get it to go to trade school. If you don't know what you want, take some time off. If you don't know what you want, do something else. Volunteer yourself. Travel abroad. Do something. But do not take some liberal arts college degree, because they don't mean anything. If you have a math degree, all right. If you have a sociology degree, psychology, but if you have a math, economics, science, you are probably better off. But if you have a liberal arts degree, you wasted a whole bunch of money for no reason, because you don't know anything enough of anything at all. You just did a whole bunch of things. And trust me, when employers look at you, they're gonna be like, "Oh, slave, we want you." Okay, guys. So again, this is Mix coming at you from Jersey. It's a great day. It's a beautiful day. As you can see, the sun is out. Awesome. I love you all. Have a great day. I would like to thank my subscribers. The channel is pretty new. This is something that just started doing recently. So my peoples that are basically subscribing, I appreciate the support. Thank you very much. Please let me know in the comments what you think, guys. If you have any suggestions, they will be welcome. Um, and have a great day, guys. Love you. Take care. Love you all. Peace.